Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about The Bad Batch Season 2, we've also got some Ahsoka news, a casting rumour and more. As always my dear friends, before we dive into it, please be sure to hit that big red subscribe button down below, and also be sure to tickle that bell so that you never miss an upload. But without much further ado, and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into the news. We begin with some much needed good news for The Bad Batch Season 2. As fans of the show, let's be real, it's been a really rough few months. The coming spring 2022 label was removed from the show's promotional in Star Wars Insider, and it seemed as though the original plans to release Season 2 on May the 4th had changed. So with the show seemingly delayed, it's great to finally have an update. So yesterday I spoke about the live action panel that's going to be at Star Wars Celebration, but now my dear friends, StarWars.com have announced that on May the 29th, which is the Sunday, the creative forces and actors behind The Bad Batch will headline a panel dedicated to the show. They say, quote, "This will be to discuss highlights from the first season of the acclaimed series, as well as some exciting hints of what's to come in Season 2. So we're probably going to get a release date and possibly a teaser of some kind. Super exciting stuff." The main guests for The Bad Batch include Brad Rao, Jennifer Corbett, Matt Miknovets, Dee Bradley Baker, and of course, Michelle Ang. It's really great to see them just kind of acknowledge it. We've been really in the dark over the last few months over this show. I've made no secret of the fact that I really miss The Bad Batch. While Star Wars Rebels will always be my favourite of all of the animated shows, The Bad Batch Season 1 was a great comfort watch, with some really fun adventures and of course, character building. The two-part ending where Kamino was destroyed by the Empire really showed us that Lucasfilm are not afraid to move on from the Clone Wars, and it was a fitting end to the prequel era, at least in animation. Of course, the Kainer brothers recently told us that Season 2 is going to be a lot different. Not only is there going to be a time gap and therefore Omega is going to be older, but they want the story to evolve too. It's going to be very different to Season 1. I suspect the second season will have a lot more darker themes, and they're not going to be afraid to exploit that, and the fact that Kevin Kainer mentioned that one episode is going to be heavily political in the noir genre. I can imagine them exploring the early rebellion, and there could be overlaps with the Andor series. Now I can see this working surprisingly well in a Star Wars series like The Bad Batch. Now if you've been watching my channel for a while, then you'll know that I do make the occasional Bad Batch speculation video in which I outline things that I hope are elaborated upon in the upcoming seasons. And amongst all of these, I'm aching to know what's next for Crosshair. It's clear that he holds a lot of anger and resentment for his brothers, and it's not even due to his chip, which he claims was removed a long time ago. When it comes down to it, he's simply heartbroken because he feels betrayed by them, but things might change because he now realizes, or at least I hope he realizes, that the Empire sees him as nothing more than a disposable cog and a remnant of the now ended Clone War. I'm super curious to see how his story is going to advance from here. Come on Lucasfilm, please give us a trailer soon. Now, a couple of you brought up a very good point in yesterday's comments section, that there is always the possibility of an announcement or teaser on May the 4th, 3 weeks before Star Wars Celebration, and then, at the panel in Anaheim, they could reveal a full trailer. This is just a hypothesis, but definitely an option we cannot rule out just yet. So going back to StarWars.com and their announcement, this is what they had to say. Dee Bradley Baker, the voice actor behind Star Wars The Bad Batch's Clone Force 99, Captain Rex on the Clone Wars, and so many other characters will be there alongside Star Wars Celebration newcomer Michelle Ang, who brought Omega to life as the newest member of the Elite Squad in Star Wars The Bad Batch last year. This is excellent news for all Bad Batch fans. And so now my dear Mandalorians, let's talk about Jude Law. This rumour has been circulating for the last couple of days, and it concerns the upcoming High Republic live-action series, codenamed Grammar Rodeo. This project is also being helmed by Jon Favreau, so let's take a look. An interesting rumour has started during the rounds this week, and if true, it sounds like a huge star could be making their way to a galaxy far, far away. According to Deux Moi, which is a popular Instagram account specialising in celebrity gossip, a quote, prime British early 2000s film stud is adding to his recent Nerdgasm resume Marvel Wizarding World after he was recently cast in an unannounced Star Wars Extended Universe Disney Plus show. Now, come on, it's not hard to figure out that this post refers to Jude Law, someone who in recent years has embraced blockbuster projects by taking on roles in the likes of Captain Marvel and the Fantastic Beasts franchise. Some fans believe that he would be a tremendous addition to the Star Wars franchise, and given that the High Republic is not related to anything else we've seen in Star Wars on screen, they could mold a new High Republic character based on Jude Law's personality and acting style. And as I've said in the past, while there are folks folks who really dislike the High Republic books or haven't even read them, a live-action series could be a turning point for the overall reception and perception of this era in the fandom, and given that Jon Favreau is creating and helming the series, I think it's in great hands. The project has been described as Stranger Things in space and is expected to follow a group of young Jedi 200 years before the events of The Phantom Menace. It's unknown if it's going to be related in any way to The Acolyte, which is going to take place at the end of the High Republic era. Aside from Jon Favreau, we also know that John Watts, who directed Spider-Man No Way Home, is going to helm at least one episode. But as with all rumours, it's worth taking this one with a pinch of salt, because this account's track record is about 50-50. And in the past we spoke about A-listers and B-listers and whether or not they should be involved in Star Wars. We've had plenty in the franchise, of course we have, but it's all about the character they play, if they're convincing, and if they work in the universe, because no one wants them to be distracting. And so finally, my dear friends, we have something of a new rumour for the Ahsoka series. According to a new report from comicbook.com, a plot synopsis for Ahsoka has emerged, but don't get too excited because this summary is pretty self-evident and does not reveal anything other than the obvious and what we already know. In their reports, they state that Ahsoka will be tracking down Grand Admiral Thrawn in the hopes of finding Ezra Bridger. Now, we already know this from Star Wars Rebels and of course The Mandalorian Chapter 13, but this is what they said. A new production listing seemingly confirms the production date for Disney Plus's Ahsoka, as well as giving a short synopsis for the series, which will star Rosario Dawson in the title role. The notes, which seem to confirm that the series will go into production early next month, and I presume they mean at the end of this month, give little in the way of a story other than recapping who Ahsoka is, and that the primary mission that she's on in the show has to do with tracking down Grand Admiral Thrawn in the hopes of rescuing Ezra Bridger. Now, I know after reading this you're gonna say, well yes, we already knew all of this, but if the source is accurate, it's still something new and official to come out of the show, and a good sign that things are moving ahead for the series. At the moment, all we know is that Rosario Dawson, Hayden Christensen, Natasha Liu Bordizzo, Ivana Sakno, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and Ray Stevenson are listed as the show's only known cast. But it is believed that Mena Massoud has been cast as Ezra and Lars Mikkelsen has been cast as Thrawn, although nothing official has come out. Again, something that could be remedied and announced at Star Wars Celebration. I would say after the Kenobi series is done, Ahsoka is going to be one of the most anticipated in the whole franchise. I'm sure we're going to get plenty of casting rumours and updates along the way. I simply cannot wait. But with that said, my dear friends, that brings us to the end of this Star Wars news update. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and a massive welcome if you are. And if you want more videos not found here on YouTube, the link to Patreon is down there in the description. But until the next one, guys, may the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg, have a good one.